everyone, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Sunday, the 26th of May 2019. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the classic tarot for today's reading. Let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of. We have the Student of Coins, so the Page of Coins. Then we have Il Matto. That's the Fool. And finally we have the Four of Wands in reverse. No, the Four of Swords in reverse. Yes, these are swords, not wands. Okay. Interesting mix. We have Pentacles, which is Earth. The Fool, a major arcana card, but he's got this one there, another one, so that's very much about fire. And then we have Swords, which is the element of air. So the only thing that's missing is water here. So that's something that you can do for yourself. Water relates to spirituality, intuition, nurturing other people, and nurturing yourself. So make sure that you do that for yourself because it's not naturally given to you on the day. The Student or the Page of Pentacles is someone who has been given some money and who is now being charged to make sense of that. So let's say in a way that he has to keep an accurate record of the money that's going in and going out. So he may be an apprentice, accountant, or bookkeeper. The court cards always represent an energy. So here we have an energy of inexperience when it comes to money, or it's an actual person who comes into our life. So you may be faced with someone today who doesn't really know what they're doing financially and who is a fool, literally, when it comes to money. And that may have an impact on your life, or it may be someone who's just part of your family or your circle of friends or an acquaintance, someone you know. There may be someone who really has struggles and problems with finances because he or she really, they just don't know what they're doing. So this could be a widower. Let's say a couple was married for 50 years and the wife dealt with the finances for the entire marriage. And the wife has passed away and now the widower is left and he's never had to deal with money, and now all of the responsibility falls on him. He's going to have to learn how to deal with finances, how to deal with his daily routine, his income and expenditure, how much he can actually afford, what he can't afford, and how to balance that. You may even see that in yourself. So you may realize that you don't know as much about your financial situation as you thought you did. And it's a great opportunity today to learn about your finances, about your daily routine, and even about your physical health, because Pentacles rules all of those things. So if you're constantly overweight, and you've been on diets your whole life and you just feel silly about it because it's like, I'm always dieting and I'm just not losing weight, you may suddenly get the idea that it may be something else, and to make an appointment with the doctor to have your thyroid checked, just as an example. Or you may feel like, you know what, I'm working my behind off. I work 80-hour weeks and I still don't have any money. There must be something wrong here. And you see that for what it is, and you look at it and you decide, do you know what, I'm going to change this because I working so hard and I've got nothing to show for it, and I'm not going to be a fool and continue to keep going once I've recognized the thing that's missing, and I'm going to take care of myself in a way that's more appropriate, and I'm going to make a change. Also, financially, you may start to recognize for the first time that you really put a lot of pressure on yourself. Let's say you have a mortgage and you make an income, and anything that you have extra, any disposable income you have, you throw at this mortgage to try and get the payments down as quickly as possible. But you never spend any money on clothing. You never spend money on a holiday. You haven't had a holiday in 8 years. You never spend money on personal grooming or clothing or anything that actually treats you or that gives you a break. And you may learn that about yourself, that you take all the money that you've got and you're really, really hard on yourself in terms of, I've got to get this debt down. I can't bear being in debt. And this mortgage is like a ball and chain around my leg. I just can't wait to pay this off. So you gain insight into your finances or someone else's finances, and you see what the problem is. Now, if it's someone else's, don't offer the solution unless someone asks you for advice. Unsolicited advice is usually very unwelcome by most people. They don't want advice unless they really go out of their way and say, I'm all out of ideas, can you please help me? And that's when people actually listen to you. If you see someone who's making major mistakes, it's not up to you to solve that for them, because they'll feel like they're on the right track and they're doing things and you're just interfering. So even if you do see someone and making huge mistakes and you're just like, oh, I wish I could help this person. It's so obvious to me the mistakes they're making. Really, really just make yourself available. And if they ask, then express that. But don't just put it out there because they'll ignore it. It's wasted energy. If it's about you, if you realize something about yourself, then that's much better because you can control your actions. So if it's about the way you spend money, the way your the 80-hour week, or any of those examples I mentioned, or the fact that you're always on a diet but it just doesn't work, you're not going to continue to act strangely by moving forward with things that you've now recognized and that you've learned. It would be strange if you said, okay, I work an 80-hour week, but I have absolutely nothing to show for it. In fact, I'm in debt and I'm exhausted all the time, but I have no money. And it would be very odd if you said, oh, that's okay, I'll just keep doing that. So the Fool in the middle here is kind of a sign that you're going to draw a line under something that's strange and mysterious in your life when it comes to your physical reality, and you're not going to continue walking along and falling off the cliff. Even your dog is warning you. So there's something, the dog represents nature, your instinct. So there's something inside of you kind of barking at you saying, stop moving, stop doing things the way you have been doing them. It's time to change. And it's interesting that this happens on a Sunday, because on Sunday we usually have a little bit of time to reflect. The Four of Swords is a card that is usually a man lying in a church, meditating, reflecting, and he's got 3 swords hanging above him and 1 sword kind of supporting him. And it's about meditation, it's about isolation, taking the time to look at your life, to take a step back and to realize that this is what's happening. But it's a very passive card in the sense that you're analyzing things and you're looking at the action that you have taken or that you do take during the week, for instance, if you're a 9-to-5er, Monday to Friday, and you look at it. And swords is the element of air, and Swords cut. So you're able to cut things off. You're able to sever patterns of behavior which no longer work. But when the card is upright, it's about being isolated and meditating on these things and evaluating them. The card is in reverse. So you don't need to do any more research. You instinctually feel that you need to take some action to make changes. So there's no analysis and there's no kind of thinking about this. The decision comes from your feelings, from your gut, from your instinct. And you're like, why haven't I seen this before? Why haven't I seen that I work 80 hours a week and that I don't make any money? Why haven't I seen that I'm super hard on myself and that I throw everything at this mortgage and I'm wearing rags? Why haven't I seen that I'm torturing myself with all of these diets and nothing ever happens, and I've been doing that for years and I've never ever seen a doctor about it? Why? Why? And it's just this epiphany, and we do have things in life like that where suddenly something comes through, and I always call this the higher power or the higher self or the universe, something that wants the best for you breaks through today, and you're teachable, and that's why it breaks through. You're teachable, you're willing to look at your life and you see that there is some sort of a problem which can be resolved. So you realize that continuing it with it as it is would be ill-advised, and you just continue to repeat the cycle. And instead, you listen to your gut feeling and this intuitive message that you receive through your feelings, or you just know, or you sense something, and you make a decision to change that. So in the examples I used, you decide to go see a doctor and they do a test and the thyroid function is fine, and the doctor says, well, I think the main reason for this is a lack of exercise, and you start to exercise. Or you change your work so that you're actually using a skill that you've got, and you work 40 hours for more pay instead of this job that you really don't need to be doing 80 hours a week, and you make more money working fewer hours. I mean, that would be ideal in any situation, and I'm making it sound much easier than it really is. But there are options in terms of changing your work, and today there are options to change your income and your levels of income so that you're not always scraping by. There are options and possibilities to change your career and to make a decision to change your career for the better, so that you're not always struggling. You're teachable, and the universe is reaching out to you, and it's reaching out and offering you a gift, a present, which keeps you from acting in a way that goes against you and that causes you problems in life. And you turn the fool around, and the universe teaches you how to behave. You then implement that behavior, and you don't traipse around foolishly. Instead, you become informed, you become the King of Pentacles, and you start to enjoy financial freedom, financial security, better health, and a daily routine that gives you more freedom. So just be open and willing to learn, maybe meditate, maybe go for a walk in nature. Pentacles is the earth. And listen to what comes up. Listen to your guidance. So a court card is 1, the Fool is 0, and then we've got the 4 of Swords, so 5. And 5 is about freedom. So it's freedom from financial worry and freedom from constant fear that you're never going to make it and that you have to just work yourself to the bone to make a living. There are other ways of dealing with this issue, and you start learning how you can implement different ways of behaving so that you really thrive and that you're in a better position than you have been in the past. So it's really transformative. So it's a day of taking care of yourself, listening to the positive messages from the universe, taking them seriously, and intending to, well, first of all, making a note of them and embracing them and remembering them, and then starting to implement them on Monday or even here on Sunday if circumstances allow. So it's all about changing the way your life looks on a day-to-day basis and making it look better. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me about things like career and finances and what your ideal work is, what you're talented at when it comes to work, your natural gifts, what your life purpose is, what your strengths and weaknesses are in life, what's destined for you in love and money and travel and moving and romance, physical health, personal development, spiritual enlightenment, your connection with other people. If you have any questions you want to ask me, then please visit the website and order a personal reading with me. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading, and I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. In the astrology, I draw up your birth chart by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a rectification on the website. That's a process where I can actually work out the exact time of birth. And that then gives me a very accurate snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born. And it's a blueprint of your soul. It's a blueprint of who you are. So I can go through all of those things with you. We can answer any questions you may have. And we can also look at what's coming up in future via the predictive astrology. So if you do have any questions or you are interested in any of that, then please get in touch via gregoryscott.com. Click on the Book Your Reading button on the front page or the Readings tab. Have a lovely, instructive, informative Sunday here where you really take care of yourself. And I'll speak to you tomorrow.